Welcome, my friend, to Next Level Change Success, a change conversation for leaders, project and change practitioners for today and tomorrow. My name is Therese Perez of myvirtualchangemanager.com, and I'm an experienced change and project professional and people leader with many years of experience in the industry. I love business, and I love the people side of business especially. So nothing lights me up more than seeing people use change management, project management, and strong change leadership to engage, motivate, and inspire people, and ultimately transform organisations. If you've heard about change management and have no idea of what it involves, then you're in the right place. If you know about change management, but you want to take your practices to the next level, then this is where you should be. I'm going to share the stories of my experiences, interview some fantastic people, and I'm going to explore all of the challenges and opportunities that you face in organisations right now. So please join me and let's go and have some fun. Hello, and welcome to Next Level Change Success. My name is Therese Perez, and I'd like to acknowledge that I am recording on Tharawal country today and pay my respects to the traditional owners and custodians on the land on which I'm recording. It's almost holiday break. It's almost Christmas. It's almost the festive break for those who may not celebrate Christmas. And what a year. I really thought that this will be my last episode for this year, for season 1. I kicked off this podcast this year and I can't believe, and I'm quite proud of myself for continuing to show up, and hopefully you're enjoying listening to the episodes and what I cover about change management, the world of change, the challenges that we have. And so today's episode was really a bit of a recap and some of the key things I think heading into 2023 that most organizations should consider. So if you think about 2022, I would say that most people are very much looking forward to the Christmas break, considering this time last year there were still restrictions, still pandemic thoughts in the air. This year quite different. Obviously there's different rules in place, not many rules in fact, and people are excited to have freedom, and I think that's a fantastic thing. I do also, though, highlight the importance that still does exist around health and well-being for everyone, and I think that's also part of the enthusiasm, is to actually have a break and to spend some time with family and friends doing normal things, and possibly never taking for granted the freedoms that we've had in the past that in the last 2 years we have really struggled to maintain. So I hope that you and your family have a great festive break and a great holiday, and a very safe one, full of love, full of connection, full of laziness and rest, which is really, really needed. And I am absolutely focusing on that with my family this year. I certainly did enjoy last year's break, just to be able to take some time, and I have no doubt that's exactly what is going to happen this year as well, reconnecting with family, friends, enjoying those freedoms, as I said, and not taking them for granted ever again. And obviously my little one, he is at just that prime age of really understanding, not necessarily the presents, which is fine by me. It's actually about the lights, the magic of Christmas. And so I am looking forward to seeing him enjoy and just, max out, enjoy this Christmas with his family and friends, and with our family and friends. A couple of things from a change perspective, a couple of things to consider about this concept, and I did a recording and a podcast earlier this year talking about revert or reimagine. And if we think about heading into this Christmas period, it does seem like the wind down isn't happening and that we still continue to, whilst many organisations are talking about mental health and well-being, is actually not really putting that into play. And leaders play a massive role in this, creating that environment, creating that wind down for your people. And part of that is about what change is getting implemented at this time of year that really should be delayed to next year, to allow that freedom and no more pressure, no more requirement, head into the last 10 working days of this year to be really focused on what can be done and then cut off and a nice wind down heading into Christmas. It is really important, and leaders play and have decisions, the decision makers in this context. So if you are a leader, just think about that for your team. What can you do to create that environment so that your people head into that Christmas break not burnt out, but certainly really looking forward to the break and having some energy to enjoy it as well. The other thing in relation to this time of year is ensuring that people's mental health really is considered. Not everyone has family, friends who they're going to be spending time with. Some people would have that preference to work over this time. And so once again, as leaders, as change practitioners, considering what might that look like, and also appreciating and acknowledging that for people, is that sometimes this can be a very, very hard time of year. Even if people have lost people around this time of year, it can also bring up a lot of emotion. So important to always remember that at the individual level. So what's in the pipeline for my virtual change manager for next year? Because now my focus really is about winding down this year, but what can I create when I'm in that creative, enjoying space to really look forward to next year? And I wanted to share some things with you. I'm going to be going into webinar territory. Yes, I will be doing some webinars on key topics next year. Change management as a skill set is something that everyone should be making available to themselves, getting upskilled in this space, because change is happening so frequently. And so I will be setting up some webinars talking about change leadership, enterprise change management at the individual level, and the skill sets required and capabilities required to be a good, not good, a great change manager and change leader, and also how an organization can become optimized in bringing change management skills to the fore. So I'm really looking forward to that. This year, I had intention to do some interviews. It didn't happen, mainly because of time. So next year, that is absolutely my intention, is to get some special guests on, people who I've worked with, people who I've come across, around some of the cutting edge change techniques and communication techniques, talk about some of the tech available in organizations that really does facilitate change, and really step into the hybrid ways of working and provide tools, tips, tricks around how to engage in a virtual environment. As many of us now work in quite a hybrid way, many organizations now still having the policy of only a couple of days in the office, which are the ones who are really, I guess, winning that battle around preferential employment. So for those who do value that work-life balance and who do want to work with and work for employers who value that same thing. And also talk about some particular types of change next year. I will be covering off people change, process change, doing some case study examples to really help you, if you're a change practitioner, to understand against it, get some tips and techniques if you are also delivering change in these spaces. And talking about change leadership, and once again providing some practical tips to those who are leading teams which require change, and how do you essentially reset your team? How do you get them focused on that vision, and how do you ultimately move them into that high performance category, is something that I also am going to be talking about next year. This year, some of the key topics and things that I did get excited about, not just about what you do, but how you do it and who you are while you're doing it, is something that I will be focusing a lot more on next year, because it is part of my own makeup on how I approach things, and it is so key. It is actually what differentiates a good change manager and a great change manager, is someone who does self-reflect, someone who is self-aware, and someone who really appreciates the ability to sit and consult with people across the organisation to effect powerful change. But I hope you have enjoyed the podcast this year, and I hope you have a fantastic break with your family, friends. If you're traveling, I hope you have safe travels. And do tune in 2023. Season 2 is going to be an absolute cracker. And I am looking forward to taking you further and discussing with you more and more about the change landscape. All the best. Merry Christmas.